Well, this is it, my 1000th video. I want to thank everyone for watching me over the years. Now, you'll probably notice that the aspect ratios on these videos are a little bit off because I didn't really know what I was doing and YouTube has screwed it up over the years. They're all basically going to be all over the place. So, this is the collection of my first season, which had over 100 videos. I hope everyone enjoys it, and let's watch this thing. The size of the opponents is just breathtaking. They make Little Mac look like Midget Mac. The only reason to care about getting more neighbors is to get more blueprints to make more furniture. That's right, this is a furniture sim. The programmers of this game have made the whole game out of the worst part of an RPG, the fetch quest. You see a bottle on the beach. There's no way to get to it. Oh wait, you're supposed to go through a hidden cave that no one's told you about. The game is just filled with sloppy, poor design. The AI is just terrible. They have no survival instincts whatsoever. They'll just smile as they bounce off your windshield. The only other problem with the game was the camera. It had a tendency to spin when you're on foot. This is a cooking simulator. It'll teach you to cook as much as a flight simulator will teach you how to fly a plane. Just because you know how to do it doesn't mean that you can do it. First, the size and the detail of Mario were unheard of back on the home console. Unlike most people, I didn't play this in the arcade, so I didn't have any experience with it until I got my NES. It was breathtaking. You would think she'd have a bodyguard by now. However, they still need a plumber to save her. Speaking of which, why was Mario charged with originally saving her in the first place? And why is it his job to go fight the bad guys? He's a goddamn plumber! She runs the Mushroom Kingdom. How out of everyone in the kingdom they choose a plumber to save her? What, was the chimney sweeper busy? Play Magazine gave this 8 out of 10? First off, when you're boasting an accomplishment on your box, they must have been really desperate to find a good review of this game if they had to go for one that's 8 out of 10. Secondly, I subscribe to Play Magazine. At least I did until this review. There's no police in the town that I saw. No wonder this whole town is filled with killers. Plus, this has to be one of the least populated towns in existence. There are barely any people walking around, and the ones that do don't care in the slightest if you run them down. You can't interact with them either. They'll just float away. That's right, they'll float away. The normal way to beat this boss is very complex, but a fun set of events that ends with the ape and Zack and Wiki falling to their death, with only Zack and Wiki surviving. However, if you're really clever, you'll notice that the boss is an animal, and all animals can be turned into something. If you can distract the ape long enough, you can sneak up behind him and turn him into an item, effectively winning the level. Columns 3, The Revenge of Columns. You might think that might be the stupidest name for a puzzle game, but that honor actually goes to its predecessor, Columns 2, The Voyage Through Time. I thought I would change things up a little and review one of the few optional channels up for download. The main reason for doing this is the channel costs money to download it, so I think it's fair game for a review. When I heard about this channel, I thought it'd be one of the most useless channels that Nintendo would ever offer, and I was half right. The truth is, the internet channel is like a bicycle. Why use it when you have a car? Here's the major problem. To reload your gun, you have to thrust the nunchuck to the right, and very often the game will read that as a command to get into the ducking position. I gave up on manually reloading it. It was just so flaky on reading it that it was not worth it. This level, you have to go inside a dinosaur. Why, you may ask? For fun! I would have loved to be at that meeting. Okay guys, I was thinking, Buck could jump through the dinosaur's mouth, then swim through his body, then exit out his ass! Okay, so I get it. You have to grow vegetables, then pick them, then repeat. What is the appeal of this game for so many people? I need to finish my chores before the festival. I wonder if I have time to pick grapes and redo my garden a little. Oh damn, it's midnight! Okay, just one more day's worth of work and I'll stop playing and go to sleep. Man, do I have a busy day today. I gotta harvest all those vegetables, plant more grass so I can have more feed for the chickens, and... oh no! I gotta get up in 3 hours? The dialogue for the cutscenes were terrible.
So how about it? Want to duelize with me and try your hand at flying around?
Go over and touch knights. That is, of course, if you're interested in that sort of thing.
No thanks, Creepy Al. I think I'm just gonna go home now. You can touch knights all you want. This game shows a new side to Mario. Animal abuser. In the original game, he would step on a Goompa's head, or he would knock Koopas around because he was just defending himself. In this game, he's just a bastard to his new friend Yoshi. He loves to punch Yoshi right in the head, and poor Yoshi has a reflex action that spits out his tongue. When Yoshi isn't being beaten over the head by Mario, she's eating apples. But if she eats too many, she'll crap out a useful item. They have to have the worst aim I've ever seen. Let me show you a good example of this. I walked up to these 3 bad guys and didn't fight back. I just sat there to see how long it would take them to kill me. The visuals were great for a Nintendo 64 game. I liked the perspective they would give. It almost seemed a bit 3D. There are a lot of people and monsters to fight and kill, some who are trying to kill you, and some who are just unlucky enough to exist in the area where you are standing. Table tennis. You look at this and you think it might be fun. Nope. All you can do is go back and forth. You can't swing your Wiimote to hit the ball. It does it for you. Look at those rallies. Woo! This is quite a party game, Nintendo. The voice acting was great, and most of the cast from the TV series is back to lend their voices. I also found it funny in parts. They would throw out jokes like crazy, and they missed the plate a lot of times, but the ones that did hit were hilarious.
Avenger, to me!
Ping Cups. It's a strange name for a strange game. Basically, you have to bounce a ball into some cups. Unfortunately, the controls are so terrible, it's almost impossible to do it. The game is awful, and it seems to go on forever. I spent a good 20 minutes trying to get this damn ball in this stupid cup, and it never gave me a game over. The gameplay is fun and very colorful, but the game itself is very weird. Toilet humor in a kid's game. You gotta love it. Treble sign square? Guys, what is the name of this game? Okay. Do-Re-Mi Fantasy. Millions Doki Doki Adventure. Now, since the only shooting game I actually own is Wii Plays Duck Hunt, that's the game I'm going to have to use to review this accessory. The perfect shot has a nice balance to it. It was very easy to line up a shot, and really didn't take any getting used to at all. For simplicity and ease of use, it gets high marks. The plot of the game is that Dr. Frankenbeans makes a time machine to kill the Looney Tunes by going back in time and erasing them from history. But Bugs and his friends steal the plans for the time machine and build their own to stop him. However, you wouldn't know this by playing the game, since the cutscenes barely reference the plot, and instead you have to interpret what's going on. Basically, you're in a floating ring, and if you fall off the edge, you die. And the more damage you take, the easier it is for an opponent to kick or punch you off the ring. The game is amazing, just like all the other versions of Smash Brothers. There's so many things to do, it's almost ridiculous. What's better than making a party game for the Wii? How about making a party game based on a seedy traveling carnival? Now, to the publisher's credit, they do have the look and feel of a traveling carnival down. From the broken down look of the games to the impossible to knock down milk bottles. However, there is a certain charm to carnival games. It took me back to when my father would take me to these places and spend $20 to win a plastic comb. The story is about King K. Rool, who steals Donkey Kong's banana hoard. And when I mean hoard, I'm not kidding. Look at the background on some of these boss fights. There are tons of them! If I was Donkey Kong, I would beat the first boss and be happy with all those bananas. But Donkey Kong is a greedy prick, so he must have them all. Almost everything that moves can kill you. With a strange exception, there is a level where you have to move around on an airship. You would think the propellers would hurt you, but they can't. It's just the background. When you click on an animal, you have to hold down the A button while you shake the remote to figure out what kind of fish it is. How is stroking some fish going to tell you if it's a blue tang or a John Dory? But that's the main goal of the game. The only real problem with the game are the Yoshis themselves. They love to sing, and their singing voices are worse than anything you can imagine. You have to listen to them singing because they are telling you a story. Unfortunately, it's not skippable. Since Carnival Games has over 20 games and Game Party has 7, you would think this would be an easy win for Carnival Games. But it's not. I think Game Party's more fun. It all came down to quantity versus quality. While there may have been more games in Carnival Games, most of them are completely forgettable. Game Party has a couple games that are worth coming back for over and over again. This is the second Medal of Honor game I've reviewed for the Wii, the first being Vanguard. And I can say without a doubt, this one is way better than the last one. They kept all the good controls of Vanguard and tossed all that motion-controlled ducking crap. You can still reload your weapon by flicking it, but you don't have to. I tended to reload my weapon with the very useful D-pad up button. So Dragon Ball Z is definitely worth a rent.
Dragon Ball Z! Budokai Tenkaichi 3!
Where does this keep coming from? Hold on, I'll be right back. I should have known. Dragon Ball Z!
Dragon Ball Z! Budokai Tenkaichi 3!
This is the Wii Viewer!
And a little reviewer.
And we're going to review Ninja Breadman for the Wii.
Which is really bad.
Shh! You can't give away the review already.
Why not?
Because they won't watch anything else if they already know the ending.
Well, they won't know what's bad about the game.
Everything. Bart finds the instruction manual for this game and learns he has special powers.
The Simpsons Game. This is so weird. The only Simpsons game I can think of is the one where we all pretend Dad isn't an alcoholic.
He then informs the family, who decides to use their powers for good. But like most people with powers, they decide what good is. This is the very first time I've ever played Guitar Hero for any console, and I can tell you, I mostly enjoyed it. Since playing Guitar Hero takes a little skill and dexterity, I, of course, sucked at the game. I tried to go past easy difficulty, but I was all fingers. The game really revolves around discovering new smells. Like Real Dogs, your character has a very heightened sense of smell, and the more smells you discover, the more you can level up your character. You can use your smells to uncover hidden items, dirt, or more usefully, the items you can use to advance the plot. The graphics look great, especially when you're above ground. It was very colorful and pleasant to look at. They tended to take a downward slide, though, when you started exploring the caves. The caves looked nice, but they all looked the same. The music was also very relaxing, which seemed to fit the game. I found the game very easy, and if you're a normal watcher of my reviews, you know how pathetic that is. This game has you play as an 11th character. You are a person who ferried all the characters to the island. In a bit of bad luck, someone has destroyed your boat, and you cannot leave. So what do you decide to do? Break into everyone's room and take their stuff. I know it's unfair to expect anything else from an adventure game, but his character is so choosy about the stuff he'll take. He won't take a doctor's bag, but he doesn't mind toting around a telescope and a tripod. And your job is to take a ball and knock the gems down with the least amount of throws. You have to figure out which block you should aim for and how hard you should throw it to best topple down the many stacks of blocks. To make things even more interesting, they also have different blocks you could throw at. Some explode on contact and make some awesome explosions on the screen. Some only blow up when they're combined with the same color, and some just disappear when hit. You have to repair your town and eventually kill the wolf and return the magic hat. The story isn't very compelling. Instead of saving your sick brother, you have to spend most of the game fixing all the problems you caused. The game's development is really odd. If you're going to take everything that was good in the Dog Island and make it simpler for younger kids, that's fine. But why would you make the storyline for the game so dark it might scare them? Mario, unsatisfied with his rewarding work as a plumber and part-time mushroom-eating superhero, he's decided to become a doctor. Doctor is a bit of an overstatement. I'd call him a nurse since he isn't really diagnosing anything, he's just giving out pills. I guess Nurse Mario Online RX isn't as catchy. What's even more strange is that he isn't actually curing patients. He's just throwing pills in a huge pill bottle. This is the Wii Viewer!
And a little reviewer.
And we're going to review Mario Kart Wii for the Wii, obviously.
Why did you say that?
Well, if it's called Mario Kart Wii, I guess it's for the Wii, wouldn't you say?
Of course.
Would you say you're good at the game?
Yes, because I got everything gold except for one, and you got like 1, 2, 2 gold.
I know I'm no good at games, thank you. I'm just good at reviewing them. My problem with the story is that the opening cutscene was so compelling that the rest of the story is a bit of a letdown.
As they approached, the pixie explained that the castle was once the home of a young, beautiful princess, but an evil curse had been cast upon it.
I liked the creepy, mysterious opening of the game, but it quickly made way for a very predictable plot. The story is about a terrorist group who has cloned an army of suicidal, gun-crazy maniacs who take over a few random places. The graphics were fantastic if it were 1988, but since my calendar says 2008, I find it a little odd that they would release a game that looks this cheesy. I don't have any problem with using real people as characters. My problem with the game is that it hasn't improved on what Lethal Enforcers did in the 90s. Is it as bad as Ninja Breadman? Absolutely. It's truly awful, but less of a complete disaster. Just like Ninja Breadman, the controls are what kills the game. While the game seems to read my waggles to jump a little bit better, it still should have never been mapped to the nunchuck. The game is filled with jumping puzzles, so if you do play this game, don't expect to get too far into the game unless you're a masochist who loves frustration. What's your favorite thing to do with your puppy?
Just sit around and do nothing. There was nothing to do. Nothing to do that's fun.
So you didn't particularly enjoy this game, did you?
All you can do is throw a frisbee, wash your puppy, feed your puppy, or do tricks for your puppy.
What'd you expect him to do, drive a car around town? It's a dog simulator. What'd you think of it, littlest Wii viewer?
I think it was great.
So you liked playing with puppies on the Wii?
Yes.
What was your favorite thing to do?
Make my puppy sit around in the area.
This is the second accessory that Nintendo has officially released. The first being the Wii Zapper. That was Nintendo's attempt to jump on the bandwagon of add-ons to the Wiimote. And I'm happy to say that their second accessory they released isn't a steaming pile of poo like the Wii Zapper. The game would read the Wiimote somewhat accurately, but it would miss one of my moves once in a while. They even offered the advice to up your weight by adding a water bottle to your sets. But I wouldn't suggest doing it though, because it's a little hard to hold.
It's getting toned. Great, keep it up. This is a great exercise for toning your arms. Make sure to keep your elbow steady.
I wish you could have moved around the environment by pointing at the screen. Before I get started talking about the games, I want to tell you to put your wrist strap on when you're playing this game. Trust me, I learned the hard way. This is the Wii Viewer, and I'm going to review Blastworks Build, Trade, Destroy. This game has the coolest sounding Wii startup screen I've seen so far.
Blastworks Build, Trade, Destroy.
Awesome. Catz 2 is exactly the same game as Dogs 2, with the only exception being cats in the game instead of dogs. It's like somebody took a marker to the box and crossed out dogs and put cats. You would think making a game about cats wouldn't be too hard. Just make a game about a human doing its normal daily tasks and a cat sitting around doing nothing, barely tolerating your existence. Notes? While you progress through the game, you start piecing together what's going on. And you get inside information where you can find items by reading the notes that someone's been writing. The question I'm wondering is, Who's writing all these notes?
Dear evil leader, the stupid American will never figure out that we hid the key behind the old shed with the hidden safe, with the combination being 3471. Ha 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 ha, we're totally gonna win. Affectionately yours, Thomas Wigglebottom.
The map screen is helpful, but it's even more helpful when you click on a quest or a location. They will put disappearing feet in front of you, and they will guide you to the location you need to go to. You shouldn't depend on the feet too much, since they don't always take you the shortest way to get there. It once took me all around the school just to get to the other side of the stairs, instead of waiting for the stairs to return. Speaking of which, how in the world did this school board ever approve this? Moving stairs? What kind of insane architect built this place? While there were normal standard collect the items minigames, there was one that stood out as the most strange. This is a game where you pop balloons using a long rainbow that comes out of your horse's ass. That's right, you heard me right. This game has rainbows coming out of a horse's butt. Strangely enough, it was actually compelling to play, since your horse gives you plenty of rainbow to work with. The guide in your character will tell you what's going on a lot in this game, and they're both very entertaining to listen to. Without them, this game would have been completely boring.
How do we find these elephants?
Well, there's a sure sign we can use to track them. They're dung.
You're joking.
Not at all. They'll be hard to miss. Adult elephants excrete around 330 pounds of dung every day. See that big cow in the middle? That's the matriarch.
Really, Professor? That's not nice.
No, Val. Female elephants are called cows. The males are called bulls.
While Blastworks may have my favorite Wii startup screen, this game has my favorite title screen.
Let's go, make a roll call. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Excuse you, move. Left to right. Slide. Slide your hands. Move. Back and forth. Slide. It's about to blow your days. Life is like a game. What you gotta do is what you wanna do. If this has to go wrong, everybody move your body.
You and your buddies are on a new boat, and you're so busy partying that you don't notice the bad weather coming, and you end up crashing your boat on an island, and you have to use your natural skills to survive. As you get more acquainted with the island, you will be given tasks that will help you survive, or even inch towards your goal of getting rescued. I like the way the Wii motion controls were used in this game, as they weren't overused. You tilt your nunchuck up and down to select your options, and it worked perfectly. The unaffected kids must escape the party alive and return back to the dorms to stop the flower's evil from spreading. I found the normal kids' motivation just downright stupid at times. Like for example, when one of the twosome arrive at the fraternity party after the bloodbath, and instead of doing what any sane person would do, get the out of there, they decide they need to investigate. This, of course, while they're stepping around mutilated corpses. Which one was your favorite character?
Evil girl.
Oh, the main villain you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty funny.
2 for flinching. I can't believe we got flinched off a cliff. Let us never speak of this again.
They even added a celebration minigame whenever you get a touchdown or do a great play. The minigame is simple, just wag your Wiimote up and down. At first it was really fun, but it quickly got very annoying and I wish you could have turned it off. Worse yet, I kept getting swacked in the face with the cords when I got too excited. The game controls okay, but the actual playing of the game was so lifeless and boring and tedious that most people won't play it again after 5 minutes. Never mind unlocking all the rides. Earn tickets so you could buy prizes. And if you buy all the prizes in the area, you'll unlock a special ride. Woohoo! Almost every attraction takes tickets, so it's going to be a consistent battle to keep a good supply of them. Action Girlz Racing was about as much fun as a root canal, and almost as painful to play. The publisher needs to be taken to task by Nintendo themselves for their complete lack of quality and care in the games they're porting onto the Wii. That's right, I said it was a port. This would be the 3rd time this game has been out for a system. The first was a PC title, then a PS2 game, and after 2 years had passed, they released it for the Wii. It's truly shameful. This is the Wii Viewer!
And the little reviewer.
And we're going to review Strong Bad for the Wii.
Actually, Strong Bad's cool game for attracted people. Episode 1.
Is that the title?
Yeah.
Well, since I am an attractive person, I can review this game.
Which you're not.
Hey, let's talk about Indiana Jones, the character itself. What was your favorite weapon? The gun or the whip?
Whip.
You loved whipping people, didn't you?
Whooping girls.
You like whipping girls so you can give them kisses? A little behind the scenes, he is now blushing. I think the very first level was the hardest level, wouldn't you say, for us?
Yeah, especially with no powers.
That's right, but once we got powers, we were unstoppable.
And never die.
I'm going to show you the only song I know how to play on the piano.
Okay.
Hey, you know what's bad?
What?
My mom's a piano teacher. You have to feed your fish daily if you want them to grow, as long as you feed them the correct food. But since there are only 3 different kinds of food to choose from, it's not too hard to figure out which fish likes which food. You'll have to be careful though. If your fish gets too big, it might eat one of the smaller ones. Sucks for them. We love golf. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing. Why don't they just go for the obvious Wii pun? I mean, the title makes no sense the way it is. We love golf? Who loves golf? The publishers? Who cares if you love golf? It'd be like me releasing a review called We Love Pizza. The title doesn't even make sense grammatically. It almost feels like the title is a bad translation, much like the famous All Your Base Are Belong to Us. Why not Golf Game Wii? Hey, if Nintendo can get away with simple titles, why can't third parties do it? The enemies will just show up on the screen instead of you jumping into a turn-based battle. You just fight them by walking into them. There was very little strategy to fighting any of them. If you're fighting a stronger enemy, just walk into them and then back away so they can't counterattack, and then rinse and repeat. Suffice it to say that the combat got really boring, but not easy. You would die often in the game, and so you would have to save often. And it's very helpful that you could save any time. The princess surprises Mario and the crew with a baseball island that she built. I have to assume with the Mushroom Kingdom's tax money. She builds an island with over 7 baseball fields. What a waste of money. Why does anyone ever need that many baseball fields? Bowser and Bowser Jr. crash their coincidentally enough baseball field-equipped boats onto the island and take over the other characters' based fields because he can't believe that the princess would waste all this money on a baseball-themed island and not make him his own stadium as well. As much as it sounds crazy that he might think the princess would do that for him, it's actually not that unreasonable if you think about it. She gave stadiums to both Wario and Donkey Kong. They're both evil bad guys. And you know what? Now I'm on Bowser's side. She should have made him his own stadium. It's pretty obvious she's trying to make nice with the other villains by giving them their own stadiums, so why not Bowser? They use actual footage from the show when they're showing off the prices, so it makes it even more exciting. They aren't just trying to make you guess the price of Brand X detergent, like they did in the Commodore 64 version. You have to really think about the prizes they're going to show you. Although it does get a bit obvious that the publishers were paid for some of the prizes to be placed in the game, as some of the descriptions for the prizes just go way over the top. Let's see if you can spot the one that was paid for.
Enjoy the flavor of potato chips, the snack made for every occasion. Chocolate chip cookies can put a smile on your face, a perfect snack anytime.
North Sides plus veggies, roasted garlic, olive oil, and broccoli rotini. 2 servings of veggies never tasted this good. Each package of North Sides plus veggies is made with 2 full servings of vegetables. U.S. dietary guidelines recommend 5 servings per day. 1 serving equals half a cup. Each pouch serves 2.
I was a little mixed on whether I should even do this review since the game isn't that much different from the first game. It follows the normal basic adventure game rules. Collect a random item and use it on another random item and hope for something good to happen. However, this game is a bit different than the first game. And since I already spent $10 on it, I figured I might as well review it as well. What do you think of the story?
Funny.
Funny like my reviews?
No, this is actually funny.
My favorite weapon was the black hole bomb. You can maneuver a black hole wherever you wanted and then open it up and suck in whatever enemies are around. The strangest one had to be the Hornet Chaser. It would shoot out robotic bees that would home in on any enemy in the area. After you beat all the bosses, you figure out that Dr. Wily's behind all the robots going crazy, and you have to go to his skull-shaped hideout to defeat him. Shouldn't his skull-faced lair be a clue that he wasn't as good as he was pretending to be? Order Up is a game where you simulate being a chef at your local family diner. You know the type I'm talking about. They're a little bit better than McDonald's, but not as good as the TGI Fridays. A little worse than that. Bingo. This is the story of Batman, who is the world's greatest detective, and who goes crazy and decides to wear a mask and fight crime.
This game is based on the cartoon series from the 90s, and in my opinion, the best Batman series ever made. They even recreate the opening of the TV series in Legos, which I thought was really cool. The Wii motion controls were used in this game, but mostly the Wiimote was used for aiming. When you did have to use the Wii motion controls, like when you have to regroup your troops by circling the nunchuck, it seemed to work well. However, I had issues in throwing grenades. It just never seemed to work right. You can use the Wii Zapper in this game, but I was unable to try that aspect of the game out since my Wii Zapper was exactly where it should be, the trash.
Harvest Moon, Tree of Tranquility.
This is the Wii Viewer!
And a little Wii Viewer.
And we're going to review Harvest Moon, Tree of Tranquility. Or as the title screen calls it, Physics really come into play in this game, so you'll often have to deal with counterbalancing your goo towers. It's very easy to overextend your goo buildings and they'll all come tumbling down. To make things a little bit easier on the player, they have time bugs that can rewind time so you can fix one of your mistakes. To make some of the levels harder, they'll often put obstacles that you have to go around or use to your advantage. While each of the levels were different in style and objectives, they really only tended to come down to two different kinds: puzzle and bridge building. One of the most notable new things in this version is the ability to make your own characters, even if it's just a dumbed down version of Nintendo's Mii's. You can choose a few different traits to make your character unique, and I think I did a good job of making my character look like me. Almost all the games from the original title have been included, except table hockey, which is a bit strange. I can't think of any reason they wouldn't have included it. If anything, I would have dropped that awful game Ping Cups. But no, they bring it back in this game. After my first review, I was told that this game is actually just a drinking game called Beer Pong. Oh yeah, that sounds totally appropriate for a Wii game. What's next, Midway? Quarters?
Oh my goodness, that was a scary story. But you know what? I got an even scarier story. Starts on a very cold and dreary Monday morning.
Little did I know when I woke up that morning that I would have to face one of the worst Wii games ever made.
Ah!
Everywhere I turned, it appeared. I had no idea how it was happening.
Why won't you push? Push! Why won't you push?
This game was haunting me, and it was driving me crazy.
Why won't you leave me alone? I don't want to review you. You're too awful.
Eventually it broke me down, and I had to face my fear.
No! All right. Fine. I'll review you, you pile of crap. And let's do this. Let's review Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz.
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz.
Wow, this guy was way too excited to announce this game. He must have never played it. Someone must have been looking at a normal party game for the Wii and thought to themselves, what if instead of mini games, we decide to let the players kill monsters and other players? Because that's what Dokapon Kingdom is in a nutshell. To describe what the game is like, I would say it's a mix of Lunar and Mario Party. And it also has the downfalls of those series as well. As in Lunar, level building is simple but a bit boring. And in Mario Party, the game relies too much on luck since you have to use a spinner to decide where you can go. While the animals looked really good close up, the way they moved around was ridiculous. They would literally walk around in circles just waiting for you. If you did try to take a shot at them, or if you got too close, they would scurry off a few feet and walk in circles again. And they were also very courteous to stay in their correct sub areas. I'm sure everyone has their own way of playing Monopoly. It's truly one of those games where the rules can be tweaked around a lot and still keep the spirit of the game alive. For example, when we play Monopoly in our family, we allow you to put up houses and hotels without a monopoly. It only makes sense. Why do you need to buy up all the properties in the area just to build on it? What kind of insane logic is that? This is the Wii Viewer!
And a little reviewer!
And we're going to review Wii Music. I have a good feeling that we're not going to agree on this one. What did you think of Wii Music?
I liked it.
Really?
Yes.
My problem with the game is that it's just bleh. I
think the game is interesting, but not something I would play more than an hour. What was your favorite thing to do in this episode?
Make Strong Bad get the hibbity-jibbities.
Oh, you mean that painting thing that we have in our intro?
Yeah.
So now that we played 3 episodes, which episode was your favorite?
The second.
I absolutely agree. I think the second was by far the best of these episodes. My first problem with the game is the name of the game itself. I know it's the title of the movie, but I have no idea what Quantum of Solace means. I guess it's time to pull out the old dictionary. Let's see. Quantum. A quantity or an amount. Solace. Comfort in sorrow. Of. Used to indicate cause. Okay. So, many things of grief? Is that what it means? Okay, that is a strange name for a film, but it's not like it's the first time a Bond film has had a strange name. There's been names like You Only Live Twice, Moonraker, and Octopussy. I've never seen it, but I assume the last one's about a cat with 8 legs. This is the Wii Viewer. And we're going to review MySims Kingdom. MySims was our very first dual review. You liked the game. I thought MySims was boring because they had you make furniture the whole time. I just don't see how anybody could find carpentry interesting in a video game.
Well, Jesus was a carpenter.
Yes, but I said in a video game. This game is a remake of the DS title, which was a remake of a GameCube game, which was a remake of an N64 game. How many times can you remake the same game? Now, Nintendo does have a reputation of reusing items and storylines. The Mario and Zelda games are a perfect example of that. However, they've never been so brazen just to remake the same game over and over again. I guess Animal Crossing is their experiment to see how many times they can get you to buy the same game. Sure, they put a fresh coat of paint on an old house, but it's still an old house. I have to believe that someone at Nintendo was looking at all the ports that have come to the Wii and thought, hey, why don't we port the DS version to the Wii, add a boring city, and charge $50? It's the only explanation I can think of. This is the Wii Viewer.
And the Little Wii Viewer.
And we're going to review
Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, Episode 4, Dangerous Free, The Criminal Projective.
So, we haven't really talked about it much. What do you think of the Strong Bad series?
It's a pretty great series.
You have to motion your Wiimote into different positions to move the cursor to the ingredient you want to use. You'll find it completely frustrating since it's constantly moving the cursor to the wrong ingredient, no matter how careful you are to move it correctly. The publishers have seemed to have forgotten that the Wii has a perfect pointing device built in. There is no need to have a convoluted motion-controlled ingredient choice system. What's even more strange is that they used the Wiimote's pointing function in the first game to choose ingredients, so why not in this one? They also overcomplicate something as simple as breaking an egg. This time they use a bar with an arrow going up and down, and you have to jerk the Wiimote at the right time to get the right effect. This is another example where they did it right in the first game and then screwed it up in the second. The story is about Sonic, who wakes up one day to find a giant ring on his coffee table. So of course he picks it up and a genie pops out and gives him some sob story about how another genie is destroying the book she lives in. She tells him that he will eventually leave her book and come to his world. And it's at that point Sonic actually starts to care. He decides to put on a smaller version of the ring she gives him, and that gives him control of her. And after that, he asks to be taken into the book. Is the story stupid? Of course it is. But you can forgive it since it's just a Sonic game. Petz Crazy Monkeyz would be a great gift if you want to give someone a game with 10 minutes worth of content. I wonder how much this game sells for. Hold on. Amazon.com. Crazy Monkeyz. $40? This game sells for $40? This game is so worthless. I can't believe that they're thinking about charging $40 for this game. I thought maybe it'd be like $20, but $40. And you know what's sad? I'm sure in Australia it'd be like $200. Congratulations, Ubisoft. You've created a worthless game that you've overpriced ridiculously. $40. If you're even thinking about buying this game, I want you to take that money that you were going to use, put it in your toilet, and flush it down. Because it'll give you more entertainment than this game. I'm sorry, my voice is gone. I am sorry. I know this is not professional, but please. $40. You shouldn't buy this game. You shouldn't rent this game. I can't believe it. $40.
Let you choose from a wide range of different animals for you to treat. And when I say a wide range, I'm not kidding. They range from the normal dogs and cats to the downright silly goldfish. Who takes their fish to the vet? The visit would cost more than the fish costs. They even have you treat a horse later in the game. That's fine. But I don't believe for a second that a person would bring in a horse to the vet and they would just let him sit in the waiting room like it was totally normal. Also disturbingly, this game has the scariest loading screen I have ever seen.
Whoa. 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 It's coming for me!
I'm so scared. Is it gone yet? Sudoku Challenge!
Why are you yelling that? I can hear it from all the way across the house.
Because this title has an exclamation mark on the end of it. So you have to yell it to the extreme.
You're weird. Daddy, you can't review this game.
Why not?
Because nobody wants to watch you play Sudoku for 3 minutes. It's about as interesting as watching you do a crossword.
But this game was given to me as a Christmas present by a subscriber. It's not like I can't do it. I mean, there's not much to this game. There's basically 2 options of Sudoku, and that's it. So the review's not going to be that long, so they don't have to suffer through it that long.
Who's the subscriber who gave it this?
His name is Maru2Fighter. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if it isn't. He was one of my very first subscribers. I'm still going to review the game, even though I think you're right. It is going to be kind of boring.
Then don't review it.
I have to.
No, you don't. Okay, I warned everyone. This review is going to be kind of boring. See you later. I'm leaving now.
Thank you, little Wii Viewer. This is the Wii Viewer.
And the little Wii Viewer. And the littlest Wii Viewer.
And we're all going to review Super Mario Galaxy. So, boys, did you like the game?
Yeah. Yes.
So I guess we all agree we should buy this game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Buy it now. What? We did the review. We said we liked it.
Yeah, right. We didn't talk about the games.
All right. I'll do a full review. So that was my first season. If you guys enjoyed this, maybe I'll do the other seasons as well. Get back to me with comments. I want to thank everyone for watching over these years, and I hope everyone is happy and safe, and everyone should have a wonderful day.